Hello, everyone. How's it going? Welcome back to another Watch with Nordic live commentary stream here today. And it is the second of two tonight. And we are kicking it off with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Calgary Flames here tonight. It is the first of two live commentaries for the Flames this week. We'll be live tonight, and we will be live on Wednesday as well for Flames and Oilers. But before we get into that, let's focus on tonight's game here, looking at two teams on both sides. The Maple Leafs have been struggling. 2 wins in their last 10 games, 6-2 in total. It has not been a good stretch of hockey here the last couple of weeks for Toronto. Ironically enough, we have streamed 4 of the last 10 games the Leafs have played, and this is the 4th. So funny enough there, of course, in terms of that. Calgary, obviously not the greatest team in the world. They've been struggling as of late. They are 4-4-2 in their last 10. They just broke a 5-game winning streak, fortunately, so obviously they're in a better spot than where they were previously this week. Starting goaltenders here tonight on one side, you have Dustin Wolf in net for Calgary. On the other side, Joseph Woll is taking the net for the Toronto Maple Leafs. What's up, Hugh? What's up, KFB8 fan? How's it going? Welcome to the commentary, guys. If you're new, subscribe if you're new. Like the stream as well. It helps out with the engagement, bringing more people into the wonderful commentary. Starting goaltenders here and there. Watch with Nordic stats. Joseph Woll becomes the 9th goaltender in Watch with Nordic live commentary history to play a minimum of 10 games in live commentary history. He becomes the 9th goaltender to reach that milestone. Those are his numbers in live commentaries. On the other side, Dustin Wolf, those are his numbers in live commentary streams, playing in his 6th stream tonight. National anthem currently underway. It's been a while since you could join. No problem, man. No problem. Just glad you're here. That's all I care about. Just came from the Fluffy Panthers hockey. Yeah, another meltdown by Florida. They have not played well recently. It's been very underwhelming what the Panthers have done. Hopefully this game's better than that one. I streamed Penguins Sens. Good win for Ottawa. Alrighty, that will conclude the Canadian National Anthem, and only the Canadian National Anthem here in the Scotiabank Saddle Dome. There's a mix of red and blue in the crowd. It's a very interesting scene to see here from Calgary as we get ready for a 10 p.m. late night matchup between the Calgary Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Starting goaltenders on both sides. Joseph Woll in net for Toronto. A .909 save percentage, 12-7-4 this season with a 2.96 goals against average. On the other side is Dustin Wolf, 16-20-3, a 3.0 goals against and an .897 save percentage as well. Yeah, Tampa will be in there for sure. I think Canada wins gold. It is a classic matchup between two Canadian teams here tonight. It is the third of 4 for the Leafs on this Western Canada road trip. And the first of a back-to-back. It's the Maple Leafs versus the Calgary Flames. And we are underway. Face-off is won back by the Flames. Huberdeau tried to play it back to center, banked off the boards. Huberdeau keeps it in the zone. Pass in front, Green in a shot. Saved by Woll off the draw. Played it at the point. Weegar fires it down low behind Joseph Woll. Now picked back up then by Morgan Frost. Frost down low now for Huberdeau. Huberdeau back to Green, and as the Flames pressure here early. I wish the Leafs would just lose all their games so we can get your pick. Hopefully. Here's Nylander. Sent on a breakaway. 1-0. He's in. He scores! William Nylander. That did not take long. Just 35 seconds in. And the Leafs have the early lead. Wow. On their first shot of the game, William Nylander. He's sent on a 1-0 by Tavares. And Nylander comes flying in, shoots it low. Blocker on Dustin Wolf. And the Maple Leafs are off and running. After Calgary was pressuring the Leafs there in their own zone, William Nylander comes down the other way. And William Nylander gives the Maple Leafs down low now. Calgary trying to bank it out to center. Again, as I said, there's a big mix of blue and red in this arena. A lot of Leaf jerseys, but also a lot of Flames jerseys. Again, when you see a Canadian team face off against the Maple Leafs, you know it's going to be a mix of a lot of different things. Here's Backlund, a shot. That one goes wide off the draw. Played back down low here into the Calgary zone. It's William Nylander's 18th goal of the season. And it is 1-0 Toronto. The Stadium Series game was great. I loved it. I streamed it. It was phenomenal. Puck hits the netting here in the Toronto zone. Leafs need to sell McMahon, Domi, and Riley. I can see McMahon. I don't know about Domi. Riley will get shopped. McMahon will be moved. If they were smart, that would be the right thing to do. Yeah, the series was great. It was definitely not cheating by Boston because a lot of those calls could have been avoided. The Castellic cross from behind after the one play, the covering of the puck could have been avoided. There were plenty of the calls that could have been avoided. And Boston's the most penalized team in the NHL. They showed why in that game. Here's Nick Robertson behind the Calgary net, fed up top to Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who shoots it on. It goes wide. Robertson, right side, fires it on Wolf. It's blocked. Now Kadri will play it up to center. Farabee, back to Kadri. Kadri comes in, pass in front, deflected by Zary. Up and high. Hey, what's up, Tim? No problem, brother. Don't worry about it. Whistle is blown here at the Maple Leafs blue line for an offsides. Don't worry about it, Tim. The delayed call. Yeah, that was... I think the reason... It wasn't really delayed necessarily. I think the thing was with it was that it was outdoors. And they also... you can't really hear the whistle that well. The referee on the other side must not have noticed. It's incredibly funny, though, that Pastrnak came down the other way and scored. I found that hilarious. Face-off won by the Maple Leafs. Pass through center back into the Calgary end. Weegar up then for Pospisil. Back over then for Klapka, who will dump it into the Toronto end. Trying to play that one away then as Max Domi. Out there on the ice is Zane Parekh, playing in his first game since November for the Calgary Flames. Benoit now back to Myers behind the net over then on the right side. Yarncrook kept in the zone by the Flames. Pospisil up top. Weegar will shoot that one down low. Marty Pospisil loses the puck. Benoit gets it back. Off the boards now Lorentz, kept in by Calgary. Kuznetsov a shot, and that one goes wide. Kevin Ball now on the right side, fighting forward with Yarncrook down low. Slid around back up top. Morgan Frost waits, fires it on, and it goes wide. Ball trying to poke check it down low. It wouldn't surprise me if they want Bobby McMahon. Not at all. Here's Ball now through the zone. Drops it back to Huberdeau, who shoots it on. And I think it went wide of Woll back up top. Another chance by Whitecloud is blocked. I think it was blocked by Huberdeau himself. Frost trying to feed it up to the point. Through the zone is Nylander. Nylander pass in front. A shot there from Carlo is blocked. Now Greedon trying to bank it to center. Maple Leafs get it back. Nylander. Cross ice pass to Carlo. Carlo shoots it on Wolf. It's kind of fanned back down low behind the net. 4 minutes gone here in this first period. Up top, Carlo. Waits, fires it, blocked by a Morgan Frost body. Up top, Nylander, dekes around then down low. Cleared back out to center. Thank you, Gothy Gwendolyn. Thank you, Gothy Gwen. I'll call you Gothy Gwen. I appreciate it for the sub. Yeah, Panthers, I don't know what's happening. I mean, they're also dropping like flies, too. Sam Bennett got hurt today. It's rough. Flames have it here now in their own zone. It's Stetcher back over then for Brandon Carlo down low. Dumped into the zone by Austin Matthews. Down low now, Bobby McMahon trying to get that puck free now on the right side. Fed back up top, Stetcher. Corner then for McMahon. McMahon trying to move it through center. Broken up then by the Flames. Coronado comes in, drops it back. Sharangovich shot. And that one goes wide. It actually went off the blocker of Wall. Kuznetsov up top to Weegar. Weegar clears it around behind the net. Ekman-Larsson battling forward with Sharangovich. Back to Backlund. Backlund fires it on. It goes off of Wall again. Down low now. Kuznetsov hit off the puck. Backlund up top to Weegar. Weegar fires it. Fan. Rebound there. Denied by Wall. And Calgary must have been getting a line change. Nobody was there in front. Toronto regroups now in their own zone. Shots are 4-1 in favor of the Flames, but the only goal has come from Nylander. Kadri to Zary. Shoots it. Saved by Wall. Played back then by Nyes. Nyes. He's got speed. Will dump that one now into the Calgary zone. Hanley battling forward in the corner. Joel Hanley back to Nyes. Right side to Robertson. Thrown up top. Benoit fires it on. That one is blocked. Now Kadri. Dekes through the zone to Zary. Zary trying to circle that one around. Got tied up by the Leafs defense. Now Farabee will throw that one up top to Parekh. It goes off his stick. Now here come the Leafs the other way. It's Wah through the zone. Will backhand that one down low. And a whistle is blown here for an offsides against the Leafs. William Nylander with the opening goal, assisted by John Tavares. And the Maple Leafs have the 1-0 lead here in the opening frame. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. Subscribe down below if you're new. We do these commentary streams every single week for all 32 teams. We'll be live for the Calgary Flames on Wednesday this week as well for the Oilers game. The Leafs we won't be live for until after the Olympic break, sadly, but it is what it is. We've streamed them plenty this year, I will say that. That's a definite. But like the stream down below as well. It helps out with the engagement. But what a start to tonight's game by William Nylander. And with that goal, Nylander moves up the commentary point board. He ties Mitch Marner for 5th all-time in points in live commentary streams. He now has his 11th goal in live commentaries as well, which is 2nd place in terms of overall players in Watch with Nordic streams. For those who are a long time, you know we keep track of all the stats in here, so stats from all the 161 commentaries we've done. Oh my God, 5-5 hockey game in Preds Blues. Looking like a barn burner. All right, back here from commercial break. Face-off coming here now. It'll be outside of the Calgary zone. Shots are 5-1 in favor of the Flames here. About 7 minutes gone in this first period. Thank you, Tim. As always. Hope you're doing well, man. I don't know if I asked you that already. Pospisil back to McCabe. Cleared around down low behind the net. Carlo trying to clear, battling forward alongside the likes of Yarncrook. Calgary keeps it in. Klapka fires it through the crease of Joseph Wall. Up top, Hanley. Hanley down low then for Klapka. Klapka Down below the goal line. Up top. Parak fires it. And it goes wide of Wool. Right side then for Klapka. Yarncrook over then for Carlo on the right side. Brandon Carlo. Pass through center. Goes off of a Maple Leaf as they dump it down low into the Calgary zone. Good. Here's Parak to Greedon. Stolen back then by the Leafs. Here's Nylander into the zone. Waits. Pass up top now. Coming in. Stetcher, a shot blocked. Puck goes way up in the air. Here come the Flames the other way. Huberdeau, 2-on-1. Knocked off the puck there by Myers. Now Tavares. Taken back then by Nylander, or at least he's trying to. William Nylander looks real active tonight. Off the boards now Michelli. Back down low then for Benoit. Simone Benoit will hold it here in the Maple Leaf zone as his team gets a line change. Benoit for Waugh. Kind of sounds like I'm saying the same word. Nick Waugh brings it into the zone. Gets kind of knocked off the puck a little bit by Kuznetsov. Stolen back then by Calgary. Here they come through the zone. Right side. Coronado, a shot save by Joseph Woll as we hit the 8-minute mark of the opening frame. So 8 minutes in, Leafs still with just one shot. Again, Zane Parekh back in the lineup for the first time since November 7th. You look at the status report, Morgan Rielly comes out of the game. He was injured during the second period of the shootout win against the Canucks. He will not be back till after the Olympic break. Flames sent down Kirkland to the AHL. He's been playing up with the big club here for a bit. He's been sent down on waivers yesterday with Calvin Pickard, ironically enough. Picked back up then. Sharangovich fires it on Woll. It's blocked. Rebound goes up in the air, back around behind the net. Now Coronado battling for it. Leafs get it back. Carlo. Right side then for Nyes. Nyes to Waugh. Banks it out to center. Sharangovich over then down low. Flames will regroup in their own end. White Cloud to Hanley, back up to Kadri. Kadri dekes in, poke checked away. Now Domi takes it back with speed. Max Domi through the zone, will dump it in. Racing for it then is Matthews. Matthews fighting alongside Parekh. A shot from the point is saved by Dustin Wolf, and he finally makes his first save of the night from Ekman Larson up top. You got to wonder when the Maple Leafs will make their moves. Obviously, we heard on Elliot Friedman's headlines, and the writing was obviously on the wall that there was going to be a change in net, or going to be a change in terms of players being traded, not in net. I don't know why I said net, sorry. I saw Dustin Wolf and I said net. We knew there would be a change in terms of some players leaving. You just wonder, it's a matter of when. Could be after the Olympic break, could be tomorrow. Trade freeze begins on Wednesday. Here's McMahon. Pass back to Matthews. Fed back up top to Ekman Larson. Shoots it. And it goes wide of the Calgary net. Matthews fighting for it now with Sharangovich. McMahon picks it back up. Bobby McMahon will dump it back into the Calgary zone. Fed back to center now. Maple Leafs pick it back up. McMahon to Matthews. Matthews flicks it into the Calgary end. Down low now, Matthews tried to feed a pass to center. Sharangovich trying to get it out. Now Coronado comes back to regroup. Here's Kevin Ball now through center. Dump back into the Maple Leafs end. Benoit trying to give it back to Myers. Cleared back down low to the corner. Zary feeds it up top to Kuznetsov. A shot off of Lorentz. And he's hurting after that, he looks like, on the ice. He'll stay out there. Puck dump back into the Toronto zone. Benoit battling for it now with Zary. We have crossed over the halfway mark of this opening period. It's a 1-0 lead for the Maple Leafs. William Nylander. Here's Lawton back to Carlo. A backhand to center. Yarncrook tried to take that one in. Stolen back then by the Flames. Here's Zary. Through center to Kadri. Kadri comes in. Can't get the shot on. Now Lawton will carry it behind the Toronto net. Here's Carlo now through center. Carlo drops it back to Nylander. Nylander to Carlo. Carlo dumps it back into the Calgary end. Zane Parekh back over to Hanley. Here's Huberdeau. Intercepted at the line. Michelli tried to bank that one down low. Hanley off the boards. Battling for it. Tavares on the right side. Stolen back then by Morgan Frost, who will carry it with speed and flip it into the Toronto end. Picked up by Ekman Larson. Thrown around to the right side. Michelli tries getting it out to center. Here's Ball. Back over then. Huberdeau trying to poke check that one away. Frost will dump it into the Toronto zone. Troy Stecher. Back over then for Nylander. Nylander stick handling in. Lomberg intercepts it at the line. Now Ekman Larson. Back up then for Matthews. Matthews to OEL. Off the boards now. Domi will backhand it into the Calgary end. Shots are 6-2 in favor of the Flames. Off the boards now. Klapka. Pass through center now. Pospisil. Pospisil comes in. Loops it around. Try to throw a centering pass there. Now Benoit down low. Battling forward with Matthews. Seems like a pretty relatively even game so far. Through center now. Domi will flick it into the Calgary end. Now Weegar. Back around behind the net for Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov back to Weegar. Mackenzie Weegar through center to Huberdeau. Huberdeau will backhand it into the Maple Leaf zone. Now Waugh. Banked off the boards. Coronado. Fed back up top. Kuznetsov. Dekes in. Fires it on Wall. He'll make the save. Down low now. Carlo will clear to center. Robertson for Waugh. Back to Robertson. Shoots it on. Save again by Wolf. Played back off the boards. Now Backlund will break it through center. Racing for it then is Coronado. Wool will come out of his net to play that puck. Down low. Coronado backhands it around the Toronto net. Back by Ekman Larson. Up top. Calgary. Coronado to Hanley. Hanley right side. Fires it into the glove of Joseph Woll. That was a lot of hockey there being played over a relatively short span of time. Not a lot of whistles. 7:04 left to go in the first. 1-0 Leafs. And that being said, we are in the second commercial break of the opening period. It is time for the Watch with Nordic trivia question tonight. The question will be, who is the youngest active Flame to score their first NHL goal? Another spelling error for me on the trivia question. So, Zane Parekh obviously scored his first NHL goal last season for the Flames. He became the fourth youngest player to score his first NHL goal with the Calgary Flames. Who is the active player that is ahead of him with the youngest player to score their first NHL goal? I will give you a hint. He is not on the Flames, and the Maple Leafs know this guy pretty damn well. So they know him pretty well. Try not to guess it, or try not to look it up. Try to guess it off the top of your head. I will not tell you whether you're right or wrong. I will reveal the answer to the question in the first commercial break of the third period. So it creates suspension. Who's it going to be? Who is it? I guess we'll never know. Thank you all for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. As always, subscribe to the channel down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. We got a good crowd tonight. It's good to see. I appreciate all the support. I like to say that when there's a better crowd here, I generally do better in the commentary. Showing off Zane Parekh. He's played for 3 different teams in 25-26. The NHL club, the Calgary Wranglers, and the World Junior Team, Canada. He was over a point per game with the Wranglers. 5 points in 4 games played. Just a point in 12 games played for Calgary this season. Obviously broke the single tournament record. Go Flames. Love to hear it. My streaming schedule will be live on Wednesday and Thursday. I'll go over the full commentary schedule when there's another commercial break. Puck is dumped down low into the Calgary zone around the right side. Greedon. Up top, Ekman-Larsson fires it on, blocked. Now played back to center. Flames try and move it ahead. Then it's McCabe, who will send a cross-ice pass then to Ekman-Larsson. OEL to Michelli. Michelli at the point. Deeks into the zone. Tried to throw a pass back over then for Tavares. Couldn't get there. Nylander keeps it in. William Nylander up top. Deeks around the right side. Pass to center. It's intercepted there by Huberdeau. Now Kirkland battling for it with Tavares. Played ahead then for, or not Kirkland, Kuznetsov. Huberdeau will dump it down low into the Maple Leaf zone. Shot 7-3 in favor of Calgary. They've been the better team here putting on the pressure, but the only goal comes from Nylander. And the Leafs have that 1-0 lead. Down low, Kadri off the boards then for Yarncrook. Played ahead then for Benoit. Welcome back. Cleared down low now. Hanley battling forward with Lon. Perek dumped around the boards. Fed back up to the point. Shot is blocked. Flames take it back the other way. Kadri, what a poke check by Jake McCabe. And Zary regains the puck and dumps it into the blue line. Through the neutral zone is Zary. Played back to Ball. Ball to Kadri. Cleared back down low then into the Maple Leaf zone. And Carlo will give it up then for McCabe. Through center now McMahon. Will bank it into the Calgary zone. Racing for it, battling with him is Whitecloud. Dumped around down low. Ball will pick it back up for the Flames. Kevin Ball flicks it all the way back into the Toronto zone. Lomberg will fire it wide of Wool. Up top, Whitecloud. Back to Backlund. Backlund shoots it. And it's blocked. I've been trying to. I work for an ECHL team, and I do some commentary for them. And I'm a freshman in college, just trying to do this on the side. Have some fun, honestly. I would like to say that I'm doing it for myself as well. I am. But I'm kind of doing it just for the fun of it, honestly. Myers off the boards then for Domi. Domi back to Myers, who will clear out to center. Stolen back then by the Flames. Kuznetsov. Over then for Weegar. Weegar will clear it into the Toronto zone. Now Sharangovich stolen back then by the Flames. Lomberg down low now at the goal line. Trying to feed that one up top. Lomberg fires it on. Blocked there by Waugh. 4-on-3 the other way now for the Leafs. Waugh through the zone. Dumps it in. Got held off there by the Calgary defense. Now Sharangovich to Weegar. Back over to Frost. Frost comes in. Dumps it down low. Puck will slide into the corner as Weegar joins the play. Trying to clear it to center. And now Perek here in the Calgary end. 3:40 left to go here in the first period. Frost. Passover is intercepted. Waugh banks it off the boards. Then Nyes. Drops it back to Robertson. Robertson comes in. Tries to shoot it wide. Just don't be as biased as the Bruins, dude. Don't worry, I'm not that biased. I try and keep a level head while I'm on here. I kind of call the game as it is. I try not to be biased. I really don't have a reason to, honestly. These are neither of my favorite teams. Greedon will dump it into the Toronto zone. Now it's McCabe. Off the boards, then Nylander back to Tavares. Tavares here now through center, back to Nylander. Nylander loops the puck around, tried to clear that one back down low. Pospisil battling forward with Ball, fed back all the way into the Toronto end. Shot still 7-3 in favor of Calgary. Bank back down low. Ball will bank it around behind the net then for Pospisil to center. Pospisil then for Farabee. Farabee, former Philadelphia Flyer, was actually traded to the Calgary Flames almost a year ago today. It was a year and I think 3 days ago at this point. Here's Kadri off the boards then to Farabee. Farabee now down low. Kadri feeds it up top. Perek dekes in. Comes down the right side behind the net. Pass in front. And it's tipped as it slides all the way back into the Calgary zone. Hanley off the boards. Back for Kadri. 2 minutes left in the opening frame. Shot 7-3. It's been a lot of neutral zone action tonight. Back and forth. McCabe off the boards for Carlo. Back over then for Matthews. Kuznetsov dumps it down low. Carlo behind the Maple Leafs net. Less than 2 minutes to play now. Max Domi will carry it through center. Dumped into the Calgary end. Matthews battling for it now with Kuznetsov. Behind the net, tried to throw it past to McMahon at center. Bobby McMahon battling for it in the corner with Kuznetsov. Up top, Carlo, a shot blocked. Weegar now will clear it all the way back into the Toronto zone. Misses wall icing against the Flames. A little over a minute to play here in the opening period. William Nylander with his 18th of the year, assisted by Tavares, makes it a 1-0 Toronto lead. Face-off coming here now in the Calgary zone. Backlund taking the draw against Tavares. Face-off won by the Leafs. Ekman-Larsson, a shot deflects into the corner. Approaching the final minute of play in regulation. Tavares down low, trying to throw a wraparound chance. Fed up to the point. Stetcher to Tavares. Tavares pass in front. Can't get it on Wolf. Now Sharangovich will get it out to center. His stick's tied up. Played back then by William Nylander. Nylander down low then for Ekman-Larsson. 50 seconds to go and winding down fast in this first period. Stetcher will backhand that one now into the Calgary end. Whitecloud to Frost. Off the boards then for Huberdeau. Back to Frost, who breaks it in. Frost to Ball. Ball waits. Try to throw a cross-ice pass then for Whitecloud. He'll keep it into the line. Time winding down. Whitecloud to Ball. Ball to Whitecloud. Pass back then. Frost. Morgan Frost down the right side, battling forward with Nylander. McCabe with 10 seconds to go. Now Stetcher takes it back. Clears it out to center. And time winding down here in this first period. That will do it. End of 20 minutes of play here in the opening period. William Nylander, 35 seconds in, makes it a 1-0 lead for the Maple Leafs. Here through 20 minutes of play. What a game this has been so far. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Some chances for both sides, but the only one that crosses that red line is Nylander. And that being said, folks, it is intermission time. Go get a snack. Go get a drink. Do what you got to do. We'll be back for the start of the second period momentarily. Florida fans are in disbelief. Yeah. That is true. You do have a point. Teams who win cups get tired. All right, we're going to get into our intermission report here in just a moment. Talk about the intermission and all that stuff going on. I'm going to pull up the trivia question. I need to go use the bathroom really quick. Here is the trivia question that I announced in the first period. Who is the youngest active Flame to score their first NHL goal? It is a former Calgary Flame, and it's somebody that the Maple Leafs know very well. So I will leave that question up there on the screen for a moment. I'm going to go use the bathroom, and we'll get into our intermission report and talk about the game itself and the other games going around the NHL currently. All right, I have returned from my wonderful bathroom break. Let's talk about that first period between the Calgary Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So through 20 minutes of play, the only really, there's been eventful moments. Obviously, there was 10 shots in the game, shot 7-3 in favor of Calgary. The only shot that mattered, though, was in the first 35 seconds. William Nylander scores a goal off of a John Tavares pass. It's off of a turnover from Huberdeau. Tavares just intercepts the pass to Weegar. Nylander notices him. He goes up on the 1-0 breakaway. Shoots it low blocker on Dustin Wolf. And it's a 1-0 lead here for the Maple Leafs 35 seconds in. And again, that is the only goal that really matters, or the only shot that really matters from that first period. Again, you look at how these two teams have contested up against each other. Calgary, off of that initially, came right in there and they got the pressure on Joseph Woll, but Woll has stood tall so far. And then after that, after the first few shots in the first couple minutes, it really felt like a just back and forth, neutral zone battle. Sticks were getting where they needed to go to. I feel for Dustin Wolf. The puck's been mostly in Calgary's zone, so obviously there's not much he can do about his current save percentage. So again, I think definitely, like, the Leafs, obviously, they scored the only goal. That obviously plays a big factor in this. But I also really do believe that with Calgary, it felt like they were the better team. It felt like they were hemming Toronto in their own zone. The Leafs were doing a good job at kind of getting sticks where they needed to be, but I felt like they could be a little bit better at that. What's been notable about the Maple Leafs this season is they definitely flounder in the second period. So keep an eye out for that here in the middle frame. I expect that to happen. Am I going to stream the Sens tomorrow? No, I streamed them today. So I won't be live. I streamed them today. Do I consider myself a casual or a diehard fan? Of my favorite team, I would say I'm a diehard. But I'm not a diehard. Like, I'm a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. A lot of what I do is calling all 32 teams, and I have to keep a level head with everything. When it comes to my team, the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm very passionate about my opinions, but I try not to let my opinions on my own team and my fandom for my own team affect how I think of and commentate other teams. That's a big thing. Zane Parekh, Sam Morton. Sorry, I haven't looked at the... Yeah, my team's the Philadelphia Flyers. I'm a Flyers fan. Born and raised here in Pennsylvania. Always been a Flyers guy. All right, let's talk about the other scores around the NHL. We'll go over the games that have completed themselves, and then we will talk about the games that are going on currently. When Torts was the coach, that was the best. You can say that. It was good for the first year. After that, I wanted him gone so bad. I was like, nope, get out of here. See ya. All right, let's go over the finalized scores here in terms of the games that have concluded themselves. Sabres and Panthers, 5-3 win for the Sabres. I know Gwen's talking about it in the chat. Florida, they might be in trouble. Sergei Bobrovsky, 5 goals on 20 shots. Or sorry, 4 goals and 20 shots. I think the one was an empty netter. No, it wasn't. They were all with a goalie in net. That's not good. That's not good. Sens and Penguins, 3-2 win for Ottawa. Senators get the win there. They had 31 shots on Shelovs. They have now won 4 games in a row. They snapped the Penguins' 6-game winning streak. Islanders and Caps was a 4-1 win for Washington. Capitals scored 4 unanswered goals in that game. All of them coming in the second and third period to make it a 4-1 win for Washington. It was meme-worthy when Torts was there, but I would like to forget that time. Habs and Wild, that was the prime game today. I haven't actually streamed a prime game yet. I haven't done it yet. I did it a couple times last year. I haven't done it at all this year. Canadians and Wild was a 4-3 overtime win for Minnesota. Getting the overtime winner was Kirill Kaprizov, yet again. We obviously commentated him getting an overtime winner earlier this year against the Red Wings. He's known for doing that. Games that are currently going on. It looks like Nashville just defeated St. Louis. Steven Stamkos with, looks like 2 goals in that game. Ryan O'Reilly had a pair of goals as well. The Predators came back from down 5-1 in that game to get the 6-5 win. So maybe they're going on some kind of like Barry Trotz, post-Barry Trotz run or whatever. Sharks and Blackhawks, 5-3 Chicago in the third period of that game. Notably, goals from Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith has a goal in there as well. That's a 5-3 game for Chicago. Stars and Jets, 3-2 Dallas. Matchup of the second round last year. Mikko Rantanen, Jason Robertson, and Nils Lindqvist scoring the 3 goals for the Stars. Red Wings Avalanche, 1-0 Detroit after the end of 40 minutes of play. Kind of nuts, actually. Red Wings' only goal came 33 seconds in, and that's been the game so far. Mammoth and Canucks is a 3-1 lead for Utah. Nick Schmaltz has 2 goals. Sergachev has a goal there as well. 3-1 Utah in that game. And then obviously this game is a 1-0 Flames lead. Could you imagine if Stamkos was still in Tampa? Could you imagine if they trade back for him? Wouldn't that be nuts? It's not out of the question, though. When I say that, it's not out of the question. It'd certainly be very interesting, that's for sure. If they were to end up doing that, that'd be really interesting.
A new year and some new major progress at Calgary's Event Center. Hi everyone, and welcome to another Scotia Place major construction milestone in Canada. The structural steel shows the fans the shape of the arena, whereas precast forms the
Yeah, that would be nuts for sure.
arena structure. So the precast comprises of the walls, floors, and seating area that the fans will actually sit on during the games. It takes building.
Do you think I can broadcast the Columbus game versus the Devils on the 7th on Tuesday? Oh, I can't. I'm not around tomorrow. I have work tomorrow. Sorry. Sadly, unable to. I do need to do another Blue Jackets stream. It's been a while since I've done the Blue Jackets. The Devils, I think I streamed like a week ago or 2. Do I ever know if he comes back at a reduced salary? Yeah, you never know. That could happen. I don't know, though. Like, the thing is with that is, like, would they be able to make it work logistically? And also, the other question is, would Stamkos want to go back? People forget that in a lot of trades, players have no movement clauses. And you have, like, we could speculate where Artemi Panarin or any of these guys will go all they want, but they have to accept the deal for it to even happen. So, where do I think Panarin goes? Again, and pretty much what I just said. I have a feeling Colorado would pull the trigger. The extension, though, is very weird. I don't know if I would go down that road. But who knows?
And I want to be preemptive on this. He is not going to play all 27 games, okay? Even if he's completely healthy, even if he's playing great hockey. Coach told us this morning he is going to be putting together a schedule. It will be malleable to some degree, but the bottom line is they want load management to be a very real thing for this young man. They have 16 games in the month of March alone. It's all crammed in basically day after day after day. They want to make sure he doesn't get burned out. They don't want to make sure he's over his head. They want to make sure he's safe, and they want him in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, I do get that. Yzerman did leave Tampa kind of ugly.
More and more punishment from big men
Tavares, what he did to the Islanders, yeah. He trolled the Islanders. But it happens. That kind of stuff happens. You have messy breakups with your former teams. It's common. It's definitely very common for sure. Just don't think I've seen you do a Jackets game unless I missed it. I have done a couple. It's been a while though, Amanda. It's been a little bit. Let me go look. The last Blue Jackets game was January 8th. So it's been almost a month. Yeah. We haven't done them that often, though. We've only done them 5 times. We did them once last year. We've done them 4 times this year. Yeah, I mean, they're hot with bonus. I think it would make sense for me to do them at some point. It may not be till after the Olympic break, though, because my schedule's already kind of filled out for this week. But, yeah, I'll definitely make sure, because, again, like, you want to do all 32 teams. So I'll look into Columbus. I'll put them on my top priority. Leafs deserve to be where they are right now. Yeah. It's not all Tavares, though. It's poor play from the goalies. Their defense has been absolutely atrocious. It's been a mix of a lot of different things. I don't know about Detroit. We'll see if that really fits their timeline. That's the biggest thing with the Red Wings that I'm very hesitant about. I'll be honest. Why is the camera so close to these guys on the panel?
We showed the graphic earlier. I mean, this has not been a straight line first pro year. I mean, there's time in Calgary, the World Juniors, the AHL, but it is important.
I think maybe Carolina for Panarin. Yeah, I've seen Carolina as well. The thing is with Carolina is that if it's an in-division trade, they've never been afraid of that, though. The Rangers have never been afraid of that. They traded Miller in division. It's a matter of can you make the money work if you're the Hurricanes? I think you can. You have cap space. And are you comfortable with giving up the assets for him? And also, does Panarin want to go there? That's the other thing. Like, you guys talk about all these destinations. He has to waive his no-move clause to go there. So, that's the thing that people tend to forget with it. But, yeah, that's definitely a conversation to be had there also. For sure. All right, second period coming up here in just a few moments. Yeah, Chris Drury did not do good things to the Rangers. Very bad. He kind of destroyed that team. I really don't know if I trust him for this retool. We'll see, but not an ideal situation there going down in why am I blanking on what I was going to say? In New York. Sorry. Yeah, maybe Stamkos does return. That'd be interesting. Do I think Don Waddell could re-sign Marchment and Coyle? So I've heard they want to keep. I've heard the Blue Jackets want to keep Marchment. Coyle might be traded. Coyle might be the one that gets dealt. Did he really? Wow. So I think Coyle probably gets traded. Marchment, from what I've heard, they want to keep him around. We'll see if that actually stays true to itself, though, and those rumors aren't just some random BS. Which is possible. Again, like I hear a lot of different things around the hockey world. Some things are true, some things are BS. We'll find out. Yeah, Stammer on the PP would be crazy. It's only if Tampa Bay can make it all work and if he wants to go there. Alrighty, let's get ready for the start of period number 2 between the Calgary Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs. They did not give me much time at all to even talk about the first period, but first period recap, goals were scored by William Nylander and just William Nylander. And no time for stats after 20. Here we are for period number 2. Face-off won by the Flames. They immediately pan to the face-off right off the draw. Dumped down low now in the Toronto zone. It's Wall, who will play it back around behind the net. Battling for it on the right side is Ekman-Larsson. Up top now, Weegar fires it. And it goes wide of Wall. Frost to center. Stolen back by Nylander. Nylander, Ekman-Larsson. Nylander. Pass back to Tavares. Tavares fires it on Wolf. He'll make the save. Down low now, Ekman-Larsson. Cleared into the corner. Sharangovich. Back for Weegar. Off the boards now, Michelli. Michelli to Tavares. Tavares up top. Back to the right side. Stolen back then by Calgary. Now Greedon will throw a pass to center to Weegar. Weegar kind of loses the puck. Gets it back. Back in front for Frost. And that one deflects up in the air and back out to center. Joel Hanley now regroups here in the Calgary zone. Hanley up then for Backlund. Backlund to Coronado. Coronado fires it. Blocked by McCabe. Now it's Nick Robertson who will break this one through the neutral zone. Pass up to Nyes is incomplete. Now he'll battle for it with Hanley. Thrown out to center. Now Waugh shot. And that one is blocked. Here's Zane Parekh. Off the boards then for Backlund. Coronado. Back to Backlund for Parekh. Parekh down the right side. Shoots it. It's a flex off of a Maple Leaf stick. Up top. Cleared back down low into the corner. Regrouping now in the Calgary zone is Ball. Battling for it with Nyes. Now Waugh. Down low for Nyes. Kadri battling for it now with Waugh. In the corner. Maple Leafs trying to feed up top. Farabee. Played ahead then by Kadri. Nazem Kadri through the zone. Fires it on Wall. He'll make the save. Rebound in front. And it's in Wall. And he must have caught it there with his feet. Because otherwise I thought that was going in on that rebound. But it stays out. Good save there by Joseph Wall as Calgary comes out running here in this second period. Shots are now 9-4 in favor of the Flames. And a nice little play in front. And Zane Parekh out there with a nice little block as well. I think if Toronto wins, this is Florida's dead last. How the mighty have fallen. Yeah, if you're last at the Olympic break, that's not a great look. Again, there's a lot of blue here in this red arena, which shouldn't surprise anybody. Face off in the Toronto zone. One back then by the Flames. Now off the boards, McMahon. Pokes it out to center. White Cloud off the boards. Right side Ball. Back Kadri over then for Zary. Zary up to the point. Ball fires it on. Goes up and out of play. We just crossed over the 1,000 view mark for this commentary stream. Thank you all so much for your ever-continuing support. That is our second of 3 commentaries this month that has crossed over that milestone. The Senators-Penguins stream fell just short of 1,000. Face-off won by the Maple Leafs. Cleared to center. McMahon battling forward with White Cloud. Matthews tries dumping it down low. Taken back then by Calgary through center. Here's Zary into the zone. Deeks in, pass over. And Farabee could not complete the play. Now Zary back up top. Whitecloud, slap shot. It goes wide. Rebounds there. And back down low to the corner. Zary fed up top. Cross ice pass, Farabee. Farabee now at the blue line. Will backhand it down low. Stolen back then by the Leafs. They will play it through center. Stetcher can't really get a clear stick on that puck. Will dump it back down low now. Kadri will be forced to drop it back then to Whitecloud. Whitecloud clears it back into the Toronto zone. It's Ekman-Larsson who will hold it behind the Maple Leaf net. OEL pass ahead then for Scott Lawton, who is a player they're looking to extend. Hanley dumps around the Calgary net. Leafs keep it in. Myers' shot is blocked. It comes all the way back out to center. Myers to Benoit. Benoit tipped off the stick there of Laurent. Slides into Dustin Wolf. Plays it back up to the point. Benoit shot blocked. Now Lomberg. Down low here now on the right side. Lomberg to Hanley. Hanley to Klapka. Now Benoit holds it back in the Toronto zone. Benoit breaks through center. Off the board, stolen back then by Hanley quickly. Off the boards then Parekh. Zane Parekh through center, stolen back then by Nylander. Played ahead then by John Tavares. Tavares through the zone to Michelli. Michelli back to JT. Battling for it now with Morgan Frost. Cleared around behind the net then. Parekh up top to McCabe. Nylander down low for Michelli. I like Steve Dangle. Some people don't like Steve Dangle. I actually enjoy his podcast. I enjoy him just raging. That's my favorite part of it. Through the zone, Nylander trying to carry that one ahead. Nylander on the right side, pass to center. Waugh can't complete it fully. Now Gridden will bank a pass up for Kadri, who catches it with his hand, picks it on his stick, fires it, and it deflects back into the corner. 5 minutes gone here in this second period. Shots are 8-5 in favor of the Flames. And the Maple Leafs lead 1-0. Here's Waugh into the zone. Moves to center. Waits. Pass down low to Nyes. And they cannot convert. Down low now, battling forward is Weegar. Connor Zary trying to get that one free down low. Through center now, Nyes. Down low. Now Waugh can't get the shot on Wolf. Waugh clears it down low behind the net. Robertson to center. And they can't keep it in the zone. It slides all the way back into the Toronto end. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Also, like the stream as well. We do these commentary streams every single week. Here's Nyes. Backhanding it in now to the Calgary end. Ball played to center. Here's Backlund with speed. Pass ahead then for Coronado. Battling for it then with Carlo. McCabe. Battling for it down low. Going down then is McCabe in the corner. Taken back then by the Leafs through center. Brandon Carlo will dump it into the Calgary zone. Now Dustin Wolf off the boards. Here's Ball to Coronado. Coronado to Sharangovich. Sharangovich to center. Waits. Circles back around up top. Kuznetsov. Down low to Backlund. Stolen back then by Domi. Through center now Ekman-Larsson. OEL to Lawton. Shoots it. Glove by Wolf. Stars beat the Jets. There you go. Thomas Harley. Wow. Scott Lawton with a chance there on Dustin Wolf, and the game stays 1-0 Toronto. Oh my gosh. Shots are 8-5 Calgary. In this second period. All right, still in commercial break. Shots are 8-6. Since that Nylander goal, there has been no goals. 5-1. Yeah, the trend seems to be that they're blowing 5-1 leads like crazy. It ain't safe, that's for sure. Just like how this lead for the Leafs ain't safe. Calgary getting a couple of chances. Just barely missing the net, picking up the rebounds in front of the Leafs defenders. They're doing a good job tonight, actually. Face-off coming up here in the Calgary zone. Weegar out there on the ice. It'll be Frost taking the draw against Tavares. He'll be kicked out now. Coming in as Greedon, the young rookie. Against the experienced veteran in Tavares. Face-off. Cleared back down low behind the Calgary net. Off the boards now, Frost stolen back by Nylander. Nylander to Tavares. Tavares pass in front. Nylander jabbing over. Pass over to Michelli. And he can't complete it. And Myers comes out of the zone. So it'll be a delayed offsides. Calgary gets the puck back off of that. Frost loses the puck. Here's Tavares. Tavares comes in with some room. Shoots it. And it goes off of Wolf and wide. Down low, Tavares. In the corner. Frost trying to throw a pass in front. They score! Michelli! From the pass from William Nylander. And the Maple Leafs are now up 2-0. And the sea of red turns blue. Wow, look at all those blue jerseys. Oh my gosh. Matias Michelli, his 8th goal of the season. It's certainly been a bit of a struggle since coming to Toronto. It hasn't been the greatest of fits for him. But he gets a goal tonight. William Nylander picks up an assist. That is another multi-point game for Nylander. And with that assist, it's his 11th multi-point game, taking the lead for the most multi-point games by a single player in Watch with Nordic live commentary history. An all-time record is broken. I thought that was a good ad. The sea of red turns blue. Even though oceans are usually blue. Well, in these days they're gray. But we don't have to talk about that. 2-0 Toronto. There's Craig Berube. His head's looking a lot better than what it was about a week ago. Face-off at center is won by the Maple Leafs. Now Lawton will dump it into the Calgary zone. Down low now, Lorentz. Pass it center. Lawton fires it wide of Wolf. Now Yarncrook. Up top, Benoit. Dumps it down low then to Lorentz. Lorentz will fight for it with Hanley. Lorentz to Yarncrook, a shot. Puck goes up and out of play. So again, as I mentioned, Joseph Woll playing in his 10th Watch with Nordic commentary tonight. He now becomes the 9th goaltender in live commentary history to play 10 or more games in a live commentary. He joined Sergei Bobrovsky, Stuart Skinner, Connor Hellebuck, Aiden Hill, Philip Gustafson, Jake Ottinger, his teammate Anthony Stolars, Jordan Bennington. And here's Coronado on a breakaway. Saved by Woll. So there you go. As I'm talking about him, he goes and saves it 1-0. Now in front. Backlund a chance. He runs over Woll. And now we get some pushing and shoving. Carlo getting into it with Backlund. And we got a penalty coming up. Joseph Woll got ran into by Backlund. Shots are 9-7. Backlund kind of gave Woll a little bit of a shove. Carlo did not like that. You always talk about the Maple Leafs being soft. Well, on the bright side, that defeats the narrative, I guess, a little bit. Probably not, though. And right up the middle, a Coronado breakaway denied by Woll. Joseph Woll has played awesome here tonight. A nice little pad save. Carlo getting into it with Backlund. We're going to get some penalties here on the play. I believe. The referee had his arm in the air. So it's a penalty against, the initial one is a penalty against the Maple Leafs, and then they're calling Calgary for one as well. I think this might even out to a 4-on-4. Or no, Toronto power play. Why? What? So 4-on-4, so not a power play. I apologize. It showed power play on my screen at first. It'll be a 4-on-4. As Carlo getting into it with Mikael Backlund. Backlund, longtime Calgary Flame. He's top 10 in almost every single metric. When I was doing the research for tonight's trivia question, I was looking through some of the records and stuff, and I saw Backlund was like top 10 in everything. He is an all-time Flame. Nope, no goalie fights. Face-off coming up here. I believe it'll be in the Calgary end. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream as well. So it'll be McMahon who will serve the penalty. 4-on-4. Face-off here at the neutral zone is cleared back down low, then into the Toronto zone. McCabe behind the Maple Leafs net. Jake McCabe will drop it back then for Nylander. Nylander through the neutral zone. Again, 4-on-4 here for 2 minutes. Matthews comes in, fires it glove by Wolf. Dustin Wolf, not the prettiest game overall in terms of stats, but he makes a nice save there on Matthews. Face-off in the Flames' end. Matthews versus Kadri. Face-off won by the Leafs. Pass over. A shot. Save there by Wolf on a chance by Stetcher. Here come the Flames with speed the other way. Kadri. Back to Whitecloud. Down low, Kadri. Stolen back then by the Leafs. Nylander. Drop back Stetcher over then for Waugh. Waugh cross ice to Matthews. Matthews to OEL. OEL with some room. Gets held off there by Whitecloud. 9 minutes gone here in the second. Ekman Larson down to Nylander. Matthews, a shot save. Rebound in front is denied. Nylander gets it back down low. Backhand. They score! Troy Stetcher. What a play. 3-0 Leafs. That is 3 goals on 11 shots for Toronto, and we'll see if there's a goalie change. But Troy Stetcher, his 3rd goal of the season, assisted by Nylander and Matthews. William Nylander, 3 points tonight. And I could already tell Nylander was going to be pretty damn active tonight. And that he has. Troy Stetcher, his 3rd goal as a Maple Leaf. Gets the backhand there on Dustin Wolf. It's 3-0 Calgary, or 3-0 Toronto. Weegar now behind the Calgary net. Plays it ahead then to Sharangovich. Stolen back off the boards. Tavares. John Tavares through center. Battling for it down low. There goes your goaltending stats in the pool. Yeah, this will really affect his commentary stats for sure. He's one of the best ranked goalies, Dustin Wolf is. Off the boards now, back up to Nyes. Nyes will carry it through center. Trying to circle that one back around, down low Tavares. Tavares up top. Looking for options, gets forced to the outside then by Calgary. Tavares battling forward with Perek. Puck will squeak out, down low then for Hanley. 4-on-4 will conclude. Just want to remind you, no lead is safe. Tampa Bay came back from down 5-1 yesterday. Nashville came back from down 5-1 today. Here's OEL back to Robertson. Robertson spinorama move, backhands it wide. That would have been nasty if he could have completed that. Here's Wah. Try to throw a centering pass in front. We've only had a couple of spinorama goals. Mika Rantanen scored one a couple weeks ago against the Canucks. Maple Leafs now have it here through center. Wah. Deeks into the zone. Battling for now on the right side. Frost trips. Now Lorenz pass in front to Robertson. Can't get the shot on now. Benoit holds it up top. Shot from the point's blocked. Wah to Lorenz. Fed up to the point. Kept in though by the Leafs. And Myers, I think, went off sides, but they didn't blow it. Here's Perek. Cleared to center. 3-on-2. Greedon to Huberdeau. Down low, Greedon back to Huberdeau. Back to Greedon down low. Fed back up top. Out to center. And now the Flames have to regroup. Troy Stecher with the third goal. It's a 3-0 lead. William Nylander with 3 points. Here's Coronado trying to get a shot on. Goes back around then behind the net. Sharangovich picks it up top. Now Whitecloud tries to fire it on. Puck deflects up in the air, back down low. Leafs dump it around behind the net. Myers. Cleared back around the boards all the way out to center. Now it's Ball, who will regroup here in the Calgary zone. Shots are 8-3 in favor of Toronto in this second period. Carlo, down low, battling for it now with Matthews. Matthews up then for Bobby McMahon. McMahon now will race it through center. Poke checked away by Kuznetsov. Battling for it down low, Kuznetsov. Back in the corner, Coronado off the boards for Weegar. Weegar to Coronado. Coronado tried dumping it down low, taken back then by Matthews off the boards. Michelli to Matthews. Matthews comes in. Goes below the goal line now, cleared around behind the net. Michelli drops it back. Domi. Tekman Larson. Back to Domi. Cleared back down low. Kuznetsov will backhand it to center. Stolen back at center ice. Now Coronado comes in with a clap cut. Coronado, a shot is denied by Wolf. That even got on. 7 minutes to play here in this second period. Shots are 11 apiece, but it's a 3-0 lead for the Leafs. That rhymed. Hanley. Cross ice to Farabee. Farabee comes in down low. Kadri! He scores! Nazem Kadri puts the Flames on the board. It's 3-1. The former Toronto Maple Leaf, assisted by Farabee and Hanley. How does Kadri only have 10 goals all year? What the hell? Feels like every game we talk about. Yeah, Stecher does work hard out there. He's been a good acquisition through waivers. Edmonton misses him for sure. Kadri beats Joseph Wall, top corner. And folks, we may have ourselves a hockey game. Stopping the bleeding here for the Leafs, hopefully. Face-off is won back by the Flames. Now Zary tries to feed it off the boards. Nylander gets it back to Tavares. Tavares will bank that one down low. Whitecloud to Ball. Cleared all the way back into the Maple Leaf zone for a icing. William Nylander with 2 assists. He is now up to 25 points. He is now number 4 all-time for the most points in live commentary history. Austin Matthews also registers a point too. He's up to 16. And slowly climbing up the list there as well. Here's Nylander trying to carry that one around down low, battling forward with Kadri. Behind the net then, Michelli. Feeds it up top. Down low, Kadri. Off the boards then. Puck goes into the Maple Leaf bench. 6:12 left to go here in this second period. Nazem Kadri puts the Flames on the board. It's 3-1 with 6:12 to go. Oh my goodness. It's been a long day. Hope you guys are enjoying the commentary so far. Last 3 minutes. It's still 1-0 Wings. Jesus. Still got to do the multi-point games from the Sens Penguins. All right, back here from commercial break. Calgary down 3-1. Farabee and Hanley. That's Nazem Kadri's 4th goal on a commentary stream. He leads all Calgary Flames in Watch with Nordic points. Faceoff's going to come here at center ice, I believe. Oh my gosh. Backlund versus Matthews. Domi now will come in to take the draw. It'll be 2 number 11s facing off. And the draw is won by Calgary. Right side now, Coronado breaks it through center. Coronado fires it. It goes off of Stetcher, back down low. Troy Stetcher, he was a Flame, right? Stetcher playing against his former team. Here's Ball back to Whitecloud. Whitecloud will clear it in, pick back up, then by the backhand. The backhand denied there by Wall. McMahon getting into it with Coronado. Flames are trying to rack up the chances here on Joseph Wall. They haven't gotten a ton here tonight. You look at the goaltender stats. You start off with Joseph Wall, 13 saves on 14 shots, a respectable .929. Dustin Wolf, a .727. Not pretty. Not pretty there for Dustin Wolf, and overall not great for Calgary to open up this homestand. They will take on the Oilers on Wednesday in Calgary, I believe. Benoit off the boards then for Nyes. Matthew Nyes now breaks it through center. Cross-ice pass then for Myers, who will clear it down low now. Nyes to Greedon. Battling forward with Waugh. Picked back up then by Frost. Trying to break that one the other way. Benoit back down low then. Here's Robertson. Robertson off the boards to Waugh. Stolen back then by the Flames. Greedon. Intercepted by Nyes. He's headed the blue line. Nyes. Takes the puck in. Pass back to Waugh. Off the boards now. Huberdeau will jab at it. Now Waugh dumps it back into the Calgary end. 5 minutes to go here in the second period. Toronto leads by 2. Calgary brings it through the neutral zone. Flames take it back. Hanley. Played off the boards now. Zary waiting for his team to get on sides. Puck is cleared back down into the Calgary end. Kadri for Zary. Zary up top, being held to the outside then by Carlo. Zary down low for Farabee. Farabee to Kadri. He'll shoot it up in the air and out of play. And we'll go back to commercial break. 4:25 left to go in the second. 3-1 Leafs. I think it's a good time to take a look at the commentary records for both of these teams. The Maple Leafs, this is their 18th commentary. They are 8-7-2 in commentary streams prior. Calgary Flames, this is their 7th commentary. They are 4-1-1 in 6 previous live streams. So some fun little tidbits there about those teams, of course. Kind of have a clogged up nose. I can feel it. But when I try and blow it, I know it's not going to come out. That's always how it works. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the commentary. Almost at 20 likes on the stream. All right, face-off coming up here now. Talking about Kadri and Tavares. Again, Kadri playing against his former team, but he was actually junior partners with John Tavares in London back in 2009. Nearly 20 years ago at this point. Both are back here in their 91s. Again, people forget that they were teammates in Toronto and in London. Face off here now, won by the Flames up top. Kuznetsov shoots it in on Wall. He'll make the save. Now Zary jabbing at it, fed up to the point. Weegar down low then. Kadri shoots it in front. They score! Joel Farabee! And it's a 1-goal game. Oh, brother. Don't look now. Don't you dare look now. Wow, shutout for the Red Wings in Colorado. Joel Farabee on the backdoor rebound play. Assisted by Kadri and Weegar. Nazem Kadri, multi-point game. Don't look now. It's 3-2. Suddenly, things get really interesting here. Shots are 16-11. Craig Berube is talking to the officials. This may come under review. And they're going to look at it. Oh, no, they're not. Never mind. 2 goals in 2.5 minutes here for the Calgary Flames. Joel Farabee puts Calgary within 1 here with 4:14 to go in the second. Face off here now, won by the Leafs. Off the boards now. Domi gets sandwiched. Ball will dump it back into the Toronto zone. Wall off the boards, cleared all the way back into the Calgary zone. Domi battling for it now with ball. Wall comes out of the net to play the puck. He has not faced a shot in a while. Coronado played to center. Sharangovich now back to Coronado. Delayed offsides here for the Flames. Here's Matthews. Gets around, dumps it into the Calgary zone. Things are getting really physical here tonight. There's been some cross checks that haven't been called. There's been plenty of hits. Benoit right side to Domi, back to Matthews. Matthews up top, shot is blocked back down low to the corner. Now Benoit battling forward with Kuznetsov. Domi up top. Myers back to Domi. Domi clears it down low now. McMahon to Matthews. Pass in front is taken away. Coronado played ahead then for Robertson, who will regroup now down low. 3 minutes remaining here in period number 2. Calgary has scored 2 goals in 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Here's Myers digging into the zone, shoots it on Wolf. He'll make the save. Face-off coming up here now in the Calgary zone. Showing off Matt Coronado, 4 shots, 12 minutes of ice time. He's been a target tonight. He's been cross-checked a couple times here by the Leafs. Face-off 1. Robertson, a shot off the draw. It's denied by Wolf. Klapka clears the center. Racing for it then is McCabe. Battling for it down low now, Carlo. Off the boards, Klapka tied up with a stick. Leafs get it back down low. Carlo. Right side then for Robertson. Nick Robertson off the boards, cross-ice pass to Wah. Wah waits. Pass over. And a tie-up there between 2 Maple Leafs. And a tripping call against the Leafs. And a huge opportunity here for Calgary. It'll be their first power play of the game legitimately. And they will have a chance to possibly tie the game. This power play will span essentially the entire third period, or the entire rest of the second period. Only 14 seconds of 5-on-5 time after the power play is over. So Calgary better find a way to connect. Flames power play now. Face-off 1 by the Leafs. Trying to clear it out to center. Kept in, though, by Calgary. Zary behind the net. Battling for it with Carlo. Sent back around then. Up top, Sharangovich. Down low then, Backlund. Poke checked away. Here's a breakaway for Scott Lawn. Into the zone. Comes in. Saved by Wolf. Battling for it now down low in the corner. Picked back up by Frost. Frost to Backlund. Frost. Back down low for Zary. Cleared behind the net then. Benoit off the boards all the way back into the Calgary end. Yeah, not a good loss for the Avalanche. Not good. Here's Kadri. Back over then for Huberdeau. Banked off the boards behind the net then. Kadri to Coronado. Coronado to Huberdeau. Hooby-dooby-doo. To Weegar. Gridden. Down low to Kadri. Kadri to Gridden. Gridden to Kadri. Kadri to Huberdeau. Last minute of play in the second period. Huberdeau to Weegar. To Gridden. Fires it. Saved by Woll. Kadri to Gridden. Back over then for Huberdeau, battling for it down low. Gridden tried to clear to center. Puck will come up to the point. 40 seconds to go. Leafs will clear. Yeah, Gibson shutout. It sucks that I couldn't commentate that. I wish I could commentate every game at once. Here's Weegar now through center. Weegar will dump it down low to the Leafs end. 20 seconds to go. 10 seconds on the power play. Cleared to center now. It's Ball who picks it up for the Flames. Power play will come to a close. 10 seconds left. Dumped in by Calgary. Wall plays it back to Wah. Off the boards. 5 seconds to go. Lorentz holds it against the boards. Lawton takes it. Clears to center. And that'll do it. We have ourselves a hockey game here, folks. 4 goals in that second period. Michelli, Stetcher, Kadri, and Farabee. Multi-point games for Nylander and Kadri. And it sets up to be a thrilling third period coming up here in just a moment. And that being said, folks, it is intermission time. Go get a snack. Go get a drink. Do what you got to do. We'll be back for the start of the third period momentarily. And we will do our intermission report, go over the games so far, go over the other scores around the NHL, and preview tomorrow's games as well. Here is the trivia question again. Who is the youngest Flame to score their first NHL goal that is currently active? It is a former Calgary Flame. So drop your guesses in the comment section down below and who you think it is. All right. That being said, I'm going to go use the bathroom again. Drinking a lot of water makes you pee a lot. Who would have thought? All right, guys. I will be right back. All right, I have returned. Sorry about that, guys. Got the trivia question there really quick. All right. Okay. Let's go over the score and the second period here. It started off with a Matias Michelli goal. Nice little pass from behind the net there by William Nylander to convert. Made it a 2-0 lead for Toronto. And then on the 4-on-4, Troy Stetcher with great passing movement from Nylander and Matthews. Just tic-tac-toe. They get the shots on Wolf. They feed it back to Stetcher, who just comes in, backdoor, and hits that celly. Makes it 3-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs. And then not long after that, Nazem Kadri moving it into the Calgary zone. Just pass from Farabee to Kadri, who comes in, shoots it top corner on Joseph Wall, and he makes it 3-1. And it stopped the momentum there a little bit for the Maple Leafs. And then following that, Joel Farabee off the face-off. It was a rebound play. Tic-tac-toe, Weegar, Kadri to Farabee in front. And he tucks in the backdoor goal. And it's a 3-2 hockey game after 40 minutes of play. I don't know if I mentioned, but these two teams faced off against each other in early October. The Maple Leafs got the 4-3 win. This game is shaping up to be something similar to that, possibly the roles reversed. And we'll see if Calgary can get that game-tying goal in the third period. All right, time for me to update the all-time stat sheet. As always, thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. That is Michelli's first goal in a commentary stream, with that goal that he picked up. William Nylander now with 13 assists. He's up to 25 points as a Maple Leaf. Does Troy Stetcher even have points? He does, actually. All right, now let's go over the other scores around the NHL super quickly as I try and put this good old thing together. And then tomorrow we'll preview the games that are going on Tuesday the 3rd. Games that have completed. Again, as we mentioned, we'll go through the games very quickly. Panthers and Sabres, 5-3 win for Buffalo. Penguins and Sens, 3-2 win for Ottawa. Islanders Caps was a 4-1 win for Washington in that game. Wild and Canadiens, 4-3 overtime win for Minnesota. Predators and Blues, 6-5 was the win for the Predators. Blackhawks beat the Sharks 6-3. 6 goals on 20 shots is nuts. Not a good game there for San Jose and their goaltending. And then Jets and Stars, 4-3 final score. Overtime winner for Thomas Harley. It's showing repeats of the two teams facing off back in the playoffs last year. And then Red Wings and Avalanche, 2-0 win for Detroit. Casper and Raymond get the goals. Huge win there for the Wings. And then the only other two games that are currently going on in the NHL, Mammoth and Canucks, 5-2 right now for Utah. And then Leafs and Flames, as we mentioned. No, that's the other computer. One of my computers is making noise. I was worried it was this computer. But it is not. All right, we'll go over the other games here in just a moment. Just kind of giving myself time to pace myself between topics. Let me go over the let me fill out the stat sheet. Multi-point games for Joel Farabee, Nazem Kadri, and William Nylander. That should be mentioned here tonight. Joel Hanley and Mackenzie Weegar also pick up assists too. All right, let's go over the other games that are going on tomorrow, Tuesday, February 3rd. We'll preview those games super quickly. There are 7 games on the docket tomorrow. You start out with Blue Jackets and Devils. That is a 7 p.m. Eastern Time puck drop. So those two teams facing off against each other. That will be in New Jersey. You have Caps Flyers at 7 o'clock. That'll be a good rivalry game there for sure. Senators in a back-to-back against the Hurricanes. Sabres in a back-to-back against the Bolts. Penguins and Islanders both in back-to-backs as well against each other. Maple Leafs are also in a back-to-back against the Oilers. And then the later slate is Kraken versus Ducks. So there you go. That's the other game going on tomorrow. So there you go. Those are all the games going on Monday the Tuesday the 3rd. While we're here, let's go over the commentary schedule yet again for the rest of the week. So Wednesday will be Canadiens versus Jets and Oilers versus Flames. Thursday will be Predators versus Capitals and Kings versus Golden Knights. So 2 other streams on Thursday, 2 streams on Wednesday. And then Friday is a special occasion. It is Michigan versus Michigan State. And that'll be a great game there. College hockey here on the channel. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be really exciting there for sure. Again, we're trying to get more college hockey into the fold here during this Olympic break. We'll be doing the Olympic Games as well, of course, but that'll definitely be something we do as well, is college hockey. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be there for the Wednesday games, flying out Thursday for vacation. Well, it's good to hear you're getting a vacation, Tim. You deserve it. Don't worry about me. Enjoy your vacation, bro. Oh, my God. Starting to run. My nose is starting to run a little bit. Blow my nose real quick. I'll be back. Hang on. We still got about... hang on. Pulling it up. We still have about 4.5 minutes till the start of the 3rd. Got this today in the mail. Hockey News rookie issue.
One thing I just want to make clear, because I've double-checked, triple-checked with sources. Despite speculation, he has not asked for a trade. He is open to the possibility and understands the reality of the situation that the Calgary Flames are open to offers on pretty much everyone other than their young pillars. He has a 13-team no-trade clause. He's willing to work with the organization moving forward if that's the way they want to go. But again, he's very happy here. He loves the city. His family loves here and has not asked for a trade. I think that's an important differentiation because there are some reports out there that's contrary to that. Yeah.
You're a subscriber? You better be. Oh, for the Hockey News? Yeah, the Hockey News is great. I love the Hockey News. Thought you meant for me. I'm like, you better be, buddy. Yeah, I just watched I watched that 3rd goal. That was really bad. What is Bob doing? He's had a pretty bad year, generally speaking. His numbers have been very bad. Trying to look up Bobrovsky. What the hell? Sergei Bobrovsky. Jesus. Really bad numbers, dude. He's been terrible. Oh, my God. He's 8th in negative goal differential.
That's right, and his numbers against the Leafs over the course of his short career are not good. And they decided to go contrary to all that and say, look, at the end of the day, he's still their goalie now, and for the next 7 years, he's going to be their number one guy.
Yeah, not great. Looking at that, not great.
He is the biggest reason this game is still a game.
All right, 3-2. Toronto here still heading into period number 3 in just a moment. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. It means a lot.
If you could just wear that for the final 30 seconds, just stamp that right to your, right to your head. I think our viewers would appreciate that. Oh, that's nice. Birthday boy. Do you want to share the age, or do you want to just slide right by that? But I'm resisting the temptation to share this in one of your faces. I can tell you that. That's very nice. Blow the candle. Blow it out, yeah. Hey, happy birthday, buddy. Thank you. We appreciate it. I hope you made a nice wish. Your wish will come
All right.
on the other side. Happy birthday, Eric Francis.
We will start the third period here after this commercial break. We are almost there, folks. We have just crossed over the 2,000 view mark. Thank you guys so much for all tuning in and your ever continuing support. It's crazy. Ever since we have started January, we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and now 14 2,000 view streams. You guys are nuts. Hey, what's up, Rex? Thank you for the $5 donation. You got busy at the Gold Star Wars night. On the way to the Gold Star Wars night in San Diego. How was it? They win? Hey, bruh. Star Wars Night's peak. Hope it was fun, man. Good to see you here. Welcome. Thank you for the $5 dono. All right. Period number 3 starting up in just a few minutes. Get another drink of water quick. All righty, let's get ready with the start of period number 3. Not fourth. Period number 3 between the Calgary Flames and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Second period recap. Goals were scored by Matthias Micheli, Troy Stetcher, Nazem Kadri, and Joel Farabee. Here through 40 minutes of play. Your stats through 40 here. Shots are 17-14 Calgary. Face-off percentage is 67%. Don't laugh. In favor of the Maple Leafs. Penalties. Calgary's 0 for 1. Maple Leafs have yet to get a power play. Hits are 17-7 Calgary. Block shots are 15-14 in favor of the Flames. This is the last time these two teams will face off this season. They originally faced off on October 28th, where the Flames got the 4-3 win. Multi-point games for Nylander, Kadri, and Farabee. Will there be more? We'll find out. Third period is officially underway. Face-off is won back then by the Maple Leafs in their own zone. Micheli trying to break that one through center. Now Zary down low. Kadri. Back then down low, Weegar. Weegar back to Kuznetsov, who will clear it back into the Maple Leaf zone. Right side through then Farabee. Kadri. Puck will slide back out to center. Weegar. Over then. Kadri will dump it into the Toronto zone. Stetcher off the boards to center. Puck goes up and out of play. And a lucky fan will receive a sweet old puck. Good for them. Who doesn't love that? Face-off coming here again in the Toronto zone. Leafs are missing two of their key blue liners, Morgan Rielly and Chris Tanev, obviously. They've played a role in why the Leafs have struggled, them not being in the lineup. Some may even argue Rielly being in the lineup has caused them struggles. Face-off now in the Maple Leaf zone again. It's Frost, who will lose it to Robertson. Carlo off the boards to center. Puck will slide all the way back into the Calgary end. Wolf back by the net, then Hanley will clear that one back into the Toronto zone. No icing. Wall out of his net. Flames dump it down low. They need one goal to tie, 2 to win. Pass from Green and try to put it through his legs. And couldn't get it there. Now Huberdeau, a shot goes wide. Back behind the net. Gridden. Right side. Fires it on. Denied by Wall. Huberdeau now on the right side. Pick back up. Pass back. Gridden. Waits. Pass over. And a near chance there for Hooby-Dooby-Doo to tie up the game. Huberdeau a shot. And that one goes wide of Wall. Shots 18-4 here. Or 18-14 here in this third period. Carlo will dump it back into the Calgary end. It will be an icing. Minute and a half gone already. Some good chances there for the young rookie, Matvei Gridden. Hooby-Dooby-Doo. Where are you? That's not a new thing. That's, you know. Face-off coming up here now in the Toronto zone. Banked all the way off the boards back into the Calgary end. Puck will sputter back here into the Calgary zone. Here's Kevin Ball. Ball to Backlund. Backlund will bank it into the Toronto zone. Getting there first is Benoit. Tying it up is two Calgary players. Coronado fighting for it with Domi. Matthews to Myers. Myers dumps it into the Flames end. White Cloud down low then for Ball. He'll race for it. Try to poke check it ahead. And staying in the zone, McMahon shoots it on Wall. He'll make the save. Domi down low then for Matthews. Back off the boards. Backlund to Sharangovich. Cleared to center. Leafs will dump it back into Wolf. Now Kevin Ball here behind the Calgary net. Ball through center. Pospisil will clear it down low. Battling for it then is Klapka. Klapka gets knocked down to the ground. Taken back then by the Maple Leafs and cleared. Back to center. Whistle is blown. And I'm not sure what for. Life's better the more we get together is what the commercial break just said to me. $17-18 left to go in the third period. Maple Leafs are up by 1. They were once up by 3. Toronto is trying to get a late comeback. Or Calgary is, that is. Here's Parekh. Takes it around now behind the net. Gets knocked off the puck. Klapka battling for it down low. Now Lorentz off the boards. Yarncrook battling for it with Parekh. Cleared to center. Hanley. Down low here in the Flames end. Joel Hanley now. Pass back to Parekh. Parekh will clear it down low. Puck slides in on Woll. He'll bank it off the boards to Myers. Back through center. Flames keep it in. Pospisil. Pass over. Kept in the zone. Parekh. Circles back around. Zane Parekh fires it. Tipped in front. Denied. If that even got on Wall. Stolen back by Calgary at center. Parekh. Back over then Hanley. Right side to Kadri. Poke checked by Brandon Carlo. Carlo. Back then McCabe. McCabe to Michelli. Stolen back then Tavares. Cross ice pass Nylander. Nylander comes in. Pass in front. And Tavares will shoot that one wide. Michelli. Down low. Nylander. Behind the net. At the goal line. Behind the net Tavares. Up top Nylander. Fires it wide. Played back then by Kadri. Over then for Zary. Kadri takes it back. Through center Weegar. Weegar to Zary. Zary with 15 minutes to go in the third. Intercepted then by the Maple Leafs. 3-on-2 the other way. Nylander comes in, waits, pass over, a shot! And it goes wide as Stetcher nearly got his second of the game. And here comes Calgary the other way. It's Kadri into the zone. Deeks in, back to Farabee, pass in front, it slides in on Wall. He'll make the save. Chances on both ends. And Toronto really with not a lot of opportunities. They somehow find themselves here with the lead. Joseph Wall again playing in his 10th commentary stream. Not many have been able to say that. But the list, as the goalie list keeps on growing, that list keeps on growing as well. Face-off won back then by the Flames. Coronado battling for it now. Domi cross-ice pass to Bobby McMahon, who will dump it into the Calgary zone. Right side then, Whitecloud up top. Myers dumps it around behind the net. Domi trying to throw it past the center. Now Matthews behind the net. Trying to get that puck free, battling for it now with Ball. McMahon up top. Benoit shoots it. It goes off Wolf. Back down low to the corner. Now Domi gets it back. McMahon cleared back up top. Myers backhands it down low. Ball trying to take it back. McMahon now behind the net. Fed up to the point. Benoit fires it, gloved by Wolf. And Dustin Wolf trying to improve his save percentage. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. We just crossed over the 4,400 subscriber mark. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Right side now, Zary battling forward with Michelli. Broken back up then, Farabee. Down low then, Kuznetsov taken back by Nylander. Nylander comes in, fires it, saved by Wolf. Rebound is jabbed away. Up top, Carlo. Pass back. McCabe. Tavares to Nylander. Fires it. Save again. And Nylander is hot tonight. Here's Kadri. Through the zone. Will dump it in there on Woll. He'll make the save. Now McCabe. Back for Hanley. Hanley down low. Battling for it now with McCabe. Played back to Nylander now. Now Zane Parekh. Back over then for Huberdeau. Huberdeau for Gridden. Gridden shoots it. And it goes up above Woll. Shots 20-18. Here's Robertson. Down the right side. Nick Robertson circles back around up to the point. Shoots it. And blocked through the traffic in front. Here's Nyes. Nyes feeds it up to the point. Now Stetcher. Back over then for Robertson. Behind the net now Waugh. Waugh to Stetcher, a shot. Into the glove of Wolf. Why do Leafs fans want Tampa to lose so badly? They're rivals. I mean, they're not fans of each other. 2 playoff series from in 2022 and 2023 will do that. And I think overall there's just a feud there between those two teams. They don't like each other. Yeah, just them being spite. It is what it's the way it is, honestly. All right. They're promoting my commentary. They're saying Nordic will be live for Canadiens Jets on Wednesday, which is correct. We will be live for Canadiens Jets on Wednesday. Face-off coming here now in the Calgary zone. It's Backlund versus Matthews. Off the draw, Leafs win it. Stetcher clears it down low now. Whitecloud battling forward with McMahon on the right side. Coronado will clear to center. Matthews comes back into his own end to regroup. Shots are 20-19. Stetcher off the boards. Matthews played ahead then for McMahon. Oh, you're from Cambridge. Cool. Or originally from Cambridge. 3-on-2. Sharangovich to Backlund. Backlund fires it. Save. Rebound. Goes wide. Pass in front. Stick lifted there by McMahon. Good play. Coronado in front. Saved by Wall. Now Bala shot. And that one's blocked. Rebound in front. Goes wide. Flames getting the pressure. Whitecloud. What a tip by the captain, Austin Matthews. Here's Coronado. In all low now into the zone. Wraparound pass. Stolen back by the Leafs. McCabe. Cross ice pass. Lawton comes in. Shoots it. Blocked. Now Coronado battling for it. Lawton picks it up down low. Behind the net now. Will feed it back up to Benoit. Benoit up top. McCabe down low to the corner now. Cleared around the right side all the way to center. Scott Lawton off the boards then for Yarncrook. In the corner behind the net, Weegar. Off the boards, Frost. Bank back into the Toronto end. Benoit will battle for it now with Zary. Bank back up to the point. Calgary will shoot it down low here into their own end. Now Zary back over then Lorentz. Back to Waugh. Ekman Larson carries it in. Pass back to Nylander. Nylander down low. A backhand! Saved by Wolfram Michelli. Matthias Michelli was open in front. And Dustin Wolf makes the save. Here comes Calgary the other way. It's Parekh. Pospisil to Klapka. Klapka waits. Up top ball. Back to Klapka. Klapka down the right side. Gets knocked off the puck by OEL. Net nearly comes off its hinges. It stays on. Lomberg to Klapka. Battling for it behind the net. Slid back up to the point. Whitecloud dekes in. Gets around Nylander. Kind of has to go back down low to the corner. Pass back then. Lomberg. Ryan Lomberg behind the net then. Klapka tries getting a shot on. Blocked by Tavares. Now Michelli will try to gain the red line. Flames get it back. Here's White Cloud now regrouping. We are approaching the halfway mark of the third period. 1-goal game. Stetcher tries to bank it around now. Greedon intercepted by Nyes. 3-on-2. Nyes will dump it in. Out of his net now is Wolf. Will clear it around back. Down low. Weegar to Greedon. Greedon comes in. Saved by Woll. Joseph Woll robs the Calgary rookie. And what a game for Joseph Woll. Greedon with a great opportunity. 9:52 left in the third. Leafs lead the Flames 3-2. It's been an absolutely nuts game here tonight in Calgary. All right, face-off coming up here. It'll be in the Toronto zone. Shots are 22-20. In the period, they're 6-5 Leafs. I will say, Joseph Woll's played great tonight. Dustin Wolf's had a really good period also. The start of the game wasn't pretty, but it's been a pretty close game here tonight. I've enjoyed it. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new down below. Also, like the stream. Helps out with bringing more people into the wonderful commentary. We're almost at 30 likes. Jesus. Face off in the Maple Leaf zone. It's Frost versus Waugh. And off the draw, it's one back down low. Flames feed it up to the point. Leafs get there first. Here's Nyes with speed. Banks it back into the Calgary end. Now it's Weegar behind the Flames net. Played it ahead then to Frost. Stolen back then by Toronto. Nyes comes in down low. And Robertson could not get the shot on. Huberdeau. Down low Parekh. Back through Greedon, who puts it through his legs. He's been pretty active tonight. Puck is dumped back into the Calgary end. Ball. Behind the net then for Zane Parekh. Now ball here in his own zone. Ball to Farabee. Farabee dekes in. Dumps it down low in the Toronto zone. Benoit battling for it. Puck is cleared all the way back into the Calgary zone for another icing with 9 minutes to go on the dot. Ugh. Face off here now, won by the Flames. Cleared back down low into the Toronto zone. Farabee battling for it now with Kadri. Kadri up top to Ball. Ball to Farabee. Farabee to Frost. Shot on, saved by Woll. He covers up the rebound. Joseph Woll has faced 23 shots tonight, has made 21 saves. playing a great game here tonight for the Leafs. He's the reason why this game isn't a Flames lead right now or a tie game, I'm going to be honest. Face-off coming here now in the Toronto zone once again. 8:42 to go. Kadri off the draw. Leafs get it back. Ekman-Larsson clears around all the way back into the Calgary end. Hanley battling forward with Yarncrook. Puck slides in front for Lawton. And Wolf plays it. Now down low is Hanley. Hanley throws it around behind the net to Parekh. Parekh through center to Kadri. Stolen back then by Ekman-Larsson. Lorentz dumps it down low. Hanley clears it down low then. Lawton back up then for Klapka. Here comes Kadri now the other way. Nazem Kadri battling for it down low with McCabe. Fed back up to the point. Kuznetsov down low. Puck slides in front. Sharangovich dinks in! Saved by Wall! Are you serious? Are you kidding me? I thought he had him beat on the backhand. Are you serious? I thought it was a tie game. Let's see this. Puck went off a wall. Oh my God. He chipped it in the wall. He had a wide open net. He put it into his chest. Oh my God. That is horrible luck, dude. Sharangovich nearly tied the game. Oh my Lord. Thought that was it. Face off in the Leafs zone again. Nylander. Cross ice pass back into the Calgary end. Now Weegar to Gridden. Gridden goes off a skate. Leafs take it back. Tavares stolen back immediately there by Weegar. Now Gridden will try and throw behind that pass in front to Michelli. What a play with a stick. Now Michelli, a one-time shot goes wide. Myers. Down low to Michelli in the corner. Michelli being tied up by two Flames defenders. Trying to skate that one around Frost. Feeds it down low then for Nylander. Nylander up top. Myers to Nylander. Nylander to Myers. Myers holds. Comes in around behind. Comes in around down low. 7 minutes to go here in this third period. Down low, Michelli. Matias Michelli behind the Toronto net. Michelli. Down low, Ekman-Larsson. Ekman-Larsson to center. Puck deflects. Back over then for Matthews. Stolen back then by Gridden. Flames went off sides. Flames kind of get bailed out there. Through the neutral zone, Coronado dumps back into the Toronto end. Racing for it then, battling for it down low, Stetcher. Back to Backlund. Backlund trying to get a pass to center. Puck will slide out to the neutral zone. Whitecloud will regroup here in the Calgary end. Now Ball through center then. Sharangovich dumps it around behind the net. Backlund up top. Whitecloud to Ball. Ball a shot into the chest of Wall. Joseph Wall facing a mountain of chances here so far. And he has stopped all but two. Shots are 25 to 20. 20-25. What a year that was. Face off in the Maple Leaf zone. It's Waugh versus Kadri. Now coming in, Farabee versus Waugh. Face off won by the Maple Leafs. Cleared to center. Whitecloud to Ball. Back to Kadri. Dumps it into the Toronto zone. Puck slides in front. How on earth does that not go in? A wide open net off of a weird bounce. And it somehow didn't cross the goal line when Klapka got there. How on earth? The puck bounced off the boards. Weirdly, Woll was behind the net to play it. And it went to the front, and somehow Klapka couldn't tuck it. Here's Nyes. Trying to feed that one up top. Here comes Farabee. Farabee back to Pospisil, who can't get there in time. We are approaching crunch time. Crunch time is when a game is either tied or within a goal or two. Now Lomberg banks it up top, then Zary. Trying to get that one free. Here's Tavares. Tavares will backhand it all the way down low then for Nylander in the corner. Cleared behind the net then Hanley. Up then for Farabee. Pospisil to Parekh. Parekh through the zone. Zane Parekh fires it. Saved by Woll. Puck slides in. He'll cover. Collision there between Setcher and Zary. Shots now 27-20. Oh my God, Woll got it with his stick. That is an unbelievable save. That would have been three. That would have tied the game. Oh my Lord. 4:45 left to go in the third. We're coming down to the wire. 3-2 Leafs. I think we all know what we want, right? Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Yeah, 20 shots on a Calgary team like this is not a great look, Doug. Yeah, David. Nuts. We'll be live on Wednesday for Canadiens Jets. And Flames fans, you better subscribe down below. We'll be live for your team again on Wednesday when they take on the Oilers as well. So we have an all-Canadian matchup of games on Wednesday. That should be fun. All right. Still here. Waiting for us to come back from commercial break. We got about 4.5 minutes to go here in the third. Shots are 27-20 with 4:45 left to go. Keep an eye out. Ah, shit. I forgot again. All right, here's the answer to the trivia question. The question was, who is the youngest active Flame to score their first NHL goal? It's a former Flame, and the winner is Matthew Tkachuk with the answer. 18 years old, 312 days, the youngest active Flame to score their first NHL goal. I forgot again. I'm sorry. I forgot in the previous stream, too, to mention it till, like, the very end. I apologize, guys. That's the answer to the trivia question. Still getting used to having that. Here's Huberdeau in front, battling for it. Stolen back then by Matthews. 4.5 minutes to go. Matthews down low now. Kick back to center. McCabe will dump that one back into the Calgary zone. Whitecloud. Back over then for Ball. Kevin Ball now through center. Back to Backlund down low. Pass in front. Shot. Rebound. It's in the crease. How? How on earth? It's right there. Benoit gets tripped. Leafs fans wanted a call. They're not going to get one. Up top. Cleared back around behind the net. Sharangovich. Pass in front. Coronado, a shot glove by Woll. Joseph Woll playing a phenomenal game tonight. You take a look at the goaltender stats here for each respective team. Joseph Woll, 26 saves on 28 shots. Oh, the question was, who is the youngest player in Flames history to score their first NHL goal? So, like, at the time when they scored their first NHL goal, who was the youngest? That was the answer to the question. Sorry. I probably misworded it. So, Woll, 26 saves on 28 shots. Dustin Wolf has 17 saves on 20 shots. Icing here against the Flames. Faceoff will come back into the Calgary zone. We are winding down. 3.5 minutes left. Flames need to get the faceoff in the Toronto zone. Pull Dustin Wolf. Get your best 6 guys out there. They've been buzzing. They've had their chances. They can't get that third goal across the line. Here are the two 91s facing off against each other. Tavares versus Kadri. Face-off one now by the Maple Leafs. Klapka will bank that one back into the Toronto zone. Now Woll down low, Stetcher. Back to Michelli. Michelli battling forward with Kadri. Back over to Stetcher. Stetcher to Ekman-Larsson. Cleared back to center. Zane Parekh. Stolen back then by Weegar. Mackenzie Weegar. Back to Kadri. Now 3 minutes to go here in the third. Calgary needs to get control of the puck. Farabee to Kadri. Down low then Ball. Ball hit by McCabe. Cleared back up to the point. McMahon will try and get it out. They will get it out successfully. Now Domi gets sent the other way. He'll fire it on Woll. He'll make the save. Racing for it now with speed is Klapka. 2.5 minutes to go. Klapka fires it. Blocked. Rebounds there. Stolen back then by Matthews. Matthews over then for Benoit. Benoit down the right side to McMahon. Ball. Taken back. Puck's deflected. It'll go wide of Woll. Now Benoit sleds it around then for Knies, who will clear it out to center. About 2 minutes to go. Flames need to get control of the puck. They can't. Here's Knies the other way now running down the clock. Poke checked. Now Calgary brings it back. Here's Zane Parekh. Parekh with speed through center. Back to Coronado. Coronado up top. Weegar fires it. And it goes up. Back down LaFrost. Pass in front. Jabbing at it. Goes back down low behind the net. There goes Dustin Wolf. Empty net for the Flames. Kadri will come out. Here's Parekh. Fires it on. Block. Rebound in front. Frost jabbing at it. Can't get the shot on. Kadri up top. Weegar. Back to Parekh. 1:25 to go. Sharangovich down low, battling forward with Carlo. Leafs get it back. They will attempt to clear. They get it out. Will it be enough for an icing? Yes, it will. Zane Parekh out there on the ice for the final moments. 1:14 left to go in regulation. The Flames need a goal. And they will call their timeout. Dustin Wolf to the empty net. Or Dustin Wolf to the bench. Empty net. Thank you all for tuning in. Subscribe down below if you're new. Like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. We'll be live on Wednesday for 2 more commentaries after this one. Some great scoring chances here for Calgary. They can't put it past Joseph Woll, who has been awesome tonight. Calgary did call their timeout. They did. You probably said that as soon as I said that, right? It's all right. I've done that before. Face-off coming in the Toronto zone. This is a massive face-off and a must-win. Empty net. Dustin Wolf's on the bench. 6 on 5. Kadri. It'll be against, I think that's Wah. Yeah. 1:14 to go. Face-off is won by the Leafs. They will clear. And it'll be yet again another icing. So they run 7 seconds off the clock. All right. It's intense, folks. Face-off, won by the Flames. Coronado shoots it, blocked. Kadri gets it back. Last minute of play in regulation. Down low now behind the net. Gridden to Parekh. Down low, Kadri. Kadri fires it. It goes wide. Parekh keeps it up top. Now Gridden. Back to Parekh. Fires it on. Blocked. Leafs will get it. They will clear. Not enough for an icing. 40 seconds to go. Parekh to Kadri. Down low. Parekh. Blocked. Kadri trying to get the puck. He falls down. Battling for with Lawton. 30 seconds to go. Puck is cleared to center. McMahon with speed. He will go for the empty net. He hits it. Bobby McMahon says goodnight and evades the comeback for Calgary. 24.5 seconds on the clock. It's 4-2. Hey, thank you, NRB. I appreciate it. Bobby McMahon gets the empty net goal. And sadly, like plenty of our other commentary streams this year, we will not see a comeback. It sucks, but we've done a lot of these. And it doesn't go our way this time around. It is what it is. Zary versus Tavares. Face-off won by the Leafs. Time will tick down on the clock. Cleared into the Calgary end. Now Wolf behind the net. Stolen back then by the Leafs. Tavares tried to throw it past the center. 10 seconds left. And the Maple Leafs come into Calgary tonight. They will take the series sweep in the Sea of Blue. Final score, Toronto 4 and the Flames 2. That's the first regulation win on the road for the Maple Leafs since December 4th. And they get the 4-2 win here in Calgary. Well, that was a fun game. Hey, Douglas, $2 donation. Thank you for the $2 dono. I appreciate that, man. So, final score here tonight. Leafs 4, Flames 2. Sucks it didn't go the way of the comeback, but I'm sure some of you Leaf fans are pretty happy with this regardless. Great, I love to hear that. All right, one of the better streams this year. Thank you all for tuning in. It is just about to cross over the 3,000 view mark. There you go. That will be the 9th time ever we get a stream that is over 3,000 views. So thank you all for your support. I will see you guys on Wednesday. We'll be live for the Canadiens versus Jets and the Battle of Alberta. Should be a great night. Thank you all for tuning in for tonight's games. And I will